All right. Good morning. Let's get started. If you watch the previous video here where we set up this photo for animation, you will have something similar to what I have right now. I have, in the meantime, between that video and now, actually done a little bit of animating. So let's take a look at that, and then I'll show you how I did it. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit to 200 so we can see this guy's eyes better. And I'll hit play, and then probably loop too. Notice that's only looping a few frames, so I need to drag my little like selection, whatever this is called, out. So whatever my loop is now. You see me kind of like looking around. You know, this calendar has seen better days. And this is kind of a sad version of this. I'm going to show you how I can do a happy version, because one of my students pointed out that if we use these two eyes, this is more of a happy face for my colander. So I just thought that was so nice. I'm going to do it. So let's pause that. I'm going to go back to my other file that we're working on. This is similar to what you have. And yeah, let's just get started. I'm going to paint in these two eyes here. And what will really help is if I zoom in. So I'm going to zoom in to 200%. And then I need to move my canvas over, so I'm going to use the space bar. If I hold on the space bar, it switches to the hand, and the hand tool lets me drag it down. So I'm going to fill in these two eyes here. And for the assignment, I asked for 2 facial features, and that can be really simple. That can mean eye, like pupils and a mouth, or maybe the whites of the eyes as well as like pupils or eyelids. So I'm going to do something with some eyelids. You know, if you look in my animation here, there are whites, there are little eyelids, and there are these little blues here for like his pupils. So not totally photorealistic, but still fun, I thought. And I think I started, we're going to go into my drawing layer and look at the brush tool. So the brush tool is right here, which I already have. And let's see here. Here's my brush. There we go. So when I brush something, I get the brush properties where it tells me what my fill and stroke color are. I would turn the stroke off. So click on, let's see if I can even do it here. Oh yeah, okay, that's good. The brush, I think probably you don't have a stroke on the brush. I'm not totally 100% sure, but we are going to start with a black fill, and it's going to be pretty small. So you can either right click here, or I'm going to use the bracket keys next to the P key, because it's just so much easier to use these brackets. So right bracket makes the brush bigger, left bracket makes it smaller. And yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to just draw. I think I need to make it even smaller. I'm going to zoom in, Command plus, use the hand. And so on this frame, I'm going to just draw a closed eyelid. Right? Then, because I set up that keystroke, I'm going to hit the F13 key, and that makes a blank keyframe. And now what we need to do is turn on the onion skin. So I think I showed you that last video. This is the onion skin button, and now it's showing me the previous frame that I drew. So on the second frame now, I'm going to like click and drag and click and drag. And so we're just making like his eyes open a little bit. Whoops, I'm using a tablet right now, like a graphics tablet, so I'm feeling a little clunky here because I'm not too used to working this way. Now we see our previous few frames. Whoops. Depending on how this pen works, I might switch to the mouse in a sec. So I'm having these things actually open pretty slowly at first, but then I'm going to kind of make a big jump. And like this guy is just going to be like wide awake to live another day. To be honest, like now that I've used this thing so much as like an example in my class, I'd feel bad throwing it away. It has kind of developed a personality, and I don't know. Blame that on your crazy teacher. So you can see I'm just hitting F13 and opening his eyes up every other frame. And you can kind of see like how the onion skin works. It's showing me the previous 2 frames, I believe, and it gets kind of more and more transparent as it goes back in time. If I were to click on, say, like if I go to, I'm going to skip a frame here. Okay, it's not showing me the subsequent frames. So if you want to see subsequent frames, you could drag the edge of this, and then it'll show you in green subsequent frames. But I don't really need that right now. And you could even kind of make your life, you know, I like to have at least 2 frames. You can kind of have a reference how things are picking up. So I don't know. Let's loop this and play it and see how it's opening. Okay. And I'm going to spend a little more time here just making a bunch of, let's turn on my onion skin. Kind of just similar frames where, you know, his eyes are open, he's looking pretty happy. So I'm not really making much change between each thing. This guy, this little right eye is a little lazy. It's okay. The reason I'm doing the outline, the black first, is that I'm going to actually end up drawing the whites layer under it. So I'm asking for 24 frames here. I'm going to go up to about 12 here. And you can see this is real basic. Okay. Now I actually want to rename this layer, so I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to call it lids. And then make another layer here. So I'll click on that. I'll double click on this layer. Call this whites. I'm going to get kind of creative here, and then I'm going to drag the whites layer under the lids layer. Okay. So now we will go back to the beginning of my animation. Now I'm going to draw on my whites layer. I don't know if I did this in the previous video, but you might want to lock your photo layer down just to make sure you're not drawing on that photo layer. So you could click on this little thing here. I could even lock my lids layer too, so I don't accidentally paint on the lids layer. But now I'm not going to draw anything here, but I am going to do an empty keyframe. Oops. Let's just go to the second frame here. And I need a white color. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, so there's no stroke here. And I'll tell you, oh, this is like if you're using the pencil tool. So you have a color window over here, but you're worried more about the fill and stroke and just the fill for this. But now that I have a fill that's white, I'm going to just brush it. And what's nice is that I don't have to be super careful because it's underneath that black layer. So I'll hit F13 to make an empty keyframe. Go to the next one. I'm even going to make my brush a little bigger. F13. Okay, so you can see where things are going with this. You know, you might find this is kind of fun. I hopeth that you do. F13. Drawn. Yeah, what's really cool about this is that when you're done, you don't have to make a movie and then open it in Photoshop. This app just lets you make a GIF. So, really love that. That's under the File Export menu. If you're feeling confident, you could probably just skip the rest of this video. I know I would. I'm even going to maybe make my eyes, the whites, the brush a little bigger here. Now that so bracket, right bracket next to the P key. F13. So, get lazy. Shortcuts are good. At least once you understand how it works, shortcuts are good. What time is it? I have a meeting at 7:30. So I might cut this slightly short. And really, after this, a couple more frames, I'm just going to add another frame. And I want this to loop, too. So if you're doing an eye thing like this, you might want to think about how you're going to have your face's eyes close. And that, if you do a blinking, little blinking animation, that would be cool. I'd be into that. Okay, so those are all my frames there. I don't know how this side's going to look. Okay, lids, whites. Now above the whites, so I'm going to click on whites, and if this is selected, now when I make a layer, it's going to go directly above that layer. But you can always drag around, it's fine. Now I'm going to call these pupils. Pupils. And for this, let's do, I don't know. I'm not feeling very creative, so I mean I am, but not really risky. So let's keep it at that. And we go back to the beginning of my animation and just start thinking, let's see, this layer I'm going to delete. I shouldn't have any whites on that layer. Now I should be on pupils. I'm going to lock down my whites layer. I won't have anything there. I will have something here, so I'm going to do, I think I have to do F13. Yeah, F13 here. And this is kind of fun because F13. This is making like a perfect circle right now. And I'm even going to like subsequently in subsequent frames make his pupils larger as well. So I'm not only hitting F13, but I'm also like making the brush size bigger, but just a little bit, because as I see over here, yeah, this thing's looking kind of crazy. So yeah, I can't go too much bigger. Whoops. F13, like this, like this. I'll be honest, I actually am finding it difficult to talk while I do this. So put some headphones on. F13 here, F13 there, and there. All right, well, we'll see how this goes. It's risky. I'm going to make sure that I select all my frames, hit play and loop. Awesome. And then, when I zoom out, hopefully it kind of makes him look alive there. Hi. Hello. Good morning. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so we'll stop this and go to File. Save, of course, to save my project. But then File, Export, and export an animated GIF. So that is just awesome right there. Make sure it says looping forever. I have it set at 800 pixels wide. Click save. So hope you enjoyed.